Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and we're back for another travel chat. And yes, it's not a Whiskey Wednesday, but it's a you don't have to be sober Sunday. I'm not really sure how to call it, but anyway, I just want to be on here and doing a little chat, answer some questions because I'll be honest with you, I am starting to get quite a bit of questions about summer travel already. So it's the 5th of February, so I think it's time for me to start talking about some of these things people might want to think about when it comes to travel this coming summer. And, all the craziness we had last summer, from the baggage issues to the long lines, to the queues, to the fights, to all those things. A lot of it had to do with understaffed airports, understaffed airlines. And I'll tell you, some of those things have gotten a little bit better, but it's still not going to be pre-pandemic levels of service when you go to the airports. So I'm going to start off with telling you this. You need to be booking your tickets now because the prices are not going to get better. Whereas one thing I like to tell people, book now with an airline that lets you, cancel for free. And then you can actually cancel later, get your money back, and rebook at a cheaper price. So that's one thing I've actually started to do because when I usually buy tickets, if I feel the price is okay, I buy my tickets and I have that. And sometimes the price drop quite a bit. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to cancel, rebook, and then get the better price. And sometimes I actually call up the airlines and talk to them about it, and they'll just give me the rebate. So that's something to kind of think about when you're there. But yeah, one of those things to kind of think about coming up. So and so looking at some of the little chats here, I see you. Oh, Mark Finley, good to see you, buddy. Ryan, haven't seen you for a while, my friend. Good to see you. Ronnie Dove, a month until he's in Europe. Very nice. AG Vlogs, good to see you in Japan. Oh, you lucky dog. Such good stuff there. It's not me, 07. Good to see you. So W. Harris just got back from Antarctica cruise. I'll be honest with you, we are waiting a little bit longer until Liam is old enough to go, and then it will be a family adventure to Antarctica. So that is one place I definitely want to go. We want to go. We all want to go. I haven't told Jocelyn about the Drake quake yet, but she'll find out. I see we have a new member. Welcome, Truffle Tigger John. Appreciate your membership. It's very nice. We have a nice little superhero group on Facebook to chat and talk about travel with other fellow travelers. So nice to have you aboard. I really appreciate it. So Tony Maloney, you're very welcome for all the videos. Annetta, good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you, Steve and Annetta. Pay no attention to any haters. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. DH, thank you for the kind words about the channel. I appreciate it. It's not me. Airlines still have people to talk to on the phone. Not every airline actually has that. That's one thing I think is important to realize is not every airline does that. And with all the, chat GPT, all these kind of things, you're probably going to see even more chatbots popping up, and at least they can theoretically answer some of your questions. But I know dealing with the chat box and the text box and all this kind of stuff with Jocelyn's lost luggage for 9 days on her 10-day trip to France and Italy, the bots aren't really that helpful. After making one frustrating. Like, if you have a simple problem, it's pretty easy. It's like a FAQ, relatively live. But otherwise, I don't know. I'm already starting to see ChatGPT made content on Instagram and TikTok for travel stuff. And you can kind of tell, because it's like, wait, all these 90 people are doing the exact same tips. I'm going to guess they went and said, what's the 100 most popular travel tips? And I'll make videos on that. It's kind of funny. You're going to see that in a lot of different content areas, not just travel, but there's no to run on YouTube. It's pretty funny. It's very exciting to see it, but something to kind of think about. So, yeah. But we're here to talk travel. We're here to answer some of your questions. And I see that Travis Joyner. That was a good question. Travis wants us to get that to pop up here real quick. Where'd you go? So Travis wants to know, Mark, have you ever needed to go to the hospital abroad? How does that even work? Is there international health insurance? So Travis, it depends what country you're going to in terms of travel insurance and what you need to do. But I'll start with this. Yes, I have been. This collarbone right here almost went through the skin from a skiing accident when I was in high school, when I was an exchange student in Finland. Ended up in the hospital about 20 hours later, not in good shape at all. They're like, oh, we can give you a sling. That's about it. See, I've been in for allergic reactions a couple times. I've been in for badly sprained ankles. I've been in. That's mostly for me. Jocelyn's been in probably the most. She got hit in the she was when we lived in Portugal. We had some bamboo in the back, and she was trimming it. And it snapped back and hit her in the eye, and literally almost took her eye out. It was bad. Like she was a pirate for 2 or 3 weeks. We have no pictures of it because she said, if you take a picture of me with this patch on, I'll kill you. So I decided to, this is early in our marriage, so I thought it was best to, not die. So I don't have any picture of that, but she also spent a month in bed rest in the Portuguese hospital. She was on bed rest for 4 months with Liam when we lived in Portugal, and one of those was in a hospital there. Liam got his hand smashed in a door in China, so we went to a lot of hospitals in China, and yeah, just like anywhere, hospitals are never fun, and there are always lots of bureaucracy. When it happens when you go abroad, same kind of thing. You go find the emergency room, you tell them what's wrong. A lot of them have the triage beforehand, have you talk about what's going on, so you can see those things that are happening. I know I would say if you're going to get travel insurance, you really should, especially if you're international, you're coming to the U.S. Getting sick in the U.S. is not a cheap thing. Okay, having an accident is not cheap. And what happens is some of the travel insurance you actually pay yourself, and then they reimburse you later. But some of them have it where they actually pay direct. So that's where it's kind of important to know what they have, and that's why it's good to have a high limit credit card if you're coming to the U.S. and you get sick. Prices are extremely different where you go. I know Jocelyn was in the hospital for a month in one of the best private hospitals in Portugal, and it was for that month, it was less than one night in the hospital when Caleb had his appendix out. So in the U.S., so something to think about. So that's why I always pick it up. If you are over 65, one thing, or if you're on Medicare doesn't cover you abroad, so you have to buy it. So when you buy your plane tickets, you can get it. You can also get it after you buy your ticket. You don't have to have it right away. You can buy it until before you go. So it's a good idea to have. And there's different kinds. There's trip insurance, which is about travel stuff. There's travel medical insurance. We actually have a video on the don'ts of travel medical insurance that you should watch. So there is that. Let's see. Okay. So now Zia Romero, thank you very much for the super chat. And let me see if I can pop it up here for us. Where'd you go? Oh, it's disappeared somewhere. Jumps around. There we go. So Nasia says, since we have a toddler, we are looking at more domestic travel. How many states have you visited? What were the top 5 unexpected best states? So first off, don't feel like you can't go abroad with your kids. I've actually found it better going abroad, especially places like Italy and Greece where there's not a lot of kids. So they just love on you, and you get free like in front of the things. And like I remember people would just take our kids, like the worker, like the nonas in Italy would be like, "You should eat on your own. I will hold the baby," and they just like stop making the food in the bag and just hold the baby for us. Or when Caleb was like 5, they're like, "He must learn how to make pasta. You eat." Like so, one would take the baby, and one would take Caleb back and show him how to make pasta. So it can be fun, but I understand doing more domestic travel. I think some of the more unexpected best states, West Virginia, gets all this crap, but it is a gorgeous state, well worth visiting. I really like going there. Georgia has a lot of stuff to offer. Like I would say the North Georgia mountains and Savannah are well worth doing it. And I really like Atlanta, except the traffic. So just Uber around for that. And then Wyoming. Wyoming is spectacular, well worth going to. So those are some ones I would definitely say to check out. BC, also thank you for the super chat. Any bad experiences with customs? I haven't had like super bad ones, but I have had. For those who don't know, we put out a new video today. What's it like going through passport control? Which is kind of like going through customs and stuff. They're not exactly the same, but it's close enough that you get the same kind of vibe. Let's see. I've had when I was going through Chile and Argentina back and forth when I was like kind of going in the Patagonia area. You'd have to get your bags out, and they'd always look through. And if you had anything questionable, you're like, it was just like the same crap over and over again, like trying to shake you down. I remember in Paraguay, I got shook down, and they got all my money, which was like $24 or $42. I can't remember right now. That was the amount they got. And they were so disappointed because they thought for sure they were going to get more than that from me. But it was 1998. And there weren't any ATMs in the middle of nowhere back then. So they got it was $24 equivalent in Argentine pesos. And then when I realized they were trying to rip me off, I didn't realize that until I got to the Argentine guys that tried to do the same thing. And I'm like, hell no, embassy. And then things got a little bit better. But yeah. I haven't had any bad ones. Not really bad ones. I've seen people have really long discussions with the passport agents, especially at Schiphol in the Netherlands. I've seen some of those take quite a bit of time, but overall, yeah. Julian Brig Climb. So Julian says, "Why is Germany unsafe?" I never said Germany was unsafe. I mean, it's fine. It's safer than going around the U.S. I would have no problem going there. I would have no problem sending my kids there. I have no problem sending my nieces there. I would have no problem taking my students there. I've actually taken my students there for study abroad a number of times. So yeah, I mean, the only unsafe stuff I would say there, honestly, just like anywhere, you don't go to bad parts of town. I mean, there's nothing that says safety in Germany. I don't even know if I have is it safe to go to Germany video, because that's how not worried I am about that. So Julian, I hope that helps you feel a little bit better if you're thinking about going there. So there is that. Let's see. So Fulpke, planning a trip to Chile, I want to visit Easter Island, but it seems so troublesome and expensive to book a flight. Any pointers? No, you actually, that is exactly 100% it. It's a pain in the butt and it's expensive. It's a long flight, but it's cool. What you might want to look at is actually a package deal, not just the flights, but look for a package. It'll be more than just the cost of a ticket, but just having it all put together, that might make it easier, and then they'll kind of do the stuff for you. Southern Explorations is a company. I used them before pandemic times, so I don't know if they're still any good. They were pretty helpful, and they would be pretty good if you're trying to get out there. They can put a package together with you with some guides. So they have that. I think we have a video reviewing them coming out on our shorts channel. Yeah, I'll show you. So for those who don't know, we actually have quite a few other YouTube channels. It's going down below. Walter's World Eats for the food advice. Walter's World Shorts gives you short travel tips. We're also now breaking up some of our older videos to bring up some fun highlights from there. So there's plenty of other things out there to try to help you out with. Let's see. Yes, minus 108 in Mount Washington. Yes, a little chilly. I won't be going there. Oh, Stuart Ross, looking forward to see more stamps in your passport. Here's the thing. A lot of people, they have now it was ESS, the electronic, basically, tracking system. So don't expect to be getting a lot of passports if you're going stamps you're going to Europe from the U.S. Just because they'll just scan you and you'll go in. So it's actually faster that way. And they'll tell you, unless you have to have a stamp, for example, for visa purposes or whatever, they might not even give you a stamp. My cousin, who's going to study abroad in England, you can go for 6 months. They're like, you're not here long enough, but he wanted to get a stamp. And he goes to the stamp people like, dude, you're not here long enough. We're not giving you one. And they just swiped it, and then he went through. So kind of interesting that way. BC, thank you for another super chat. What are your thoughts on visiting Nashville? So we actually have 5 Lemon Hates in Nashville, top 10 sites in Nashville, don'ts in Nashville. I think we have 2 different eats of Nashville videos to give you some ideas of what to eat when you're there. Don'ts of Tennessee. We got a bunch of stuff that's from that area. I actually like going to Nashville. I mean, most people just know Broadway, which is where all the bars are. But there's actually a lot of museums downtown you can go see. There's a lot of small towns outside that are worth going to. So yeah, it's a fun time to go. If you go on the weekend, just know it's going to be busy with festivizing people having a good time. So Def Leppard Rules Rock, good to see you again, my friend. It's been a while. So we did not get to Okinawa when we were there last time in Japan. That is one of the things we will visit next time. So let me know, because I don't think we're going to get back to Japan until 2024 or 2025 at the earliest. Just because now that we're kind of putting things together, and now we're getting messages from people about weddings coming up, and so it's like, okay, I need to kind of plan stuff around. So we've got a bunch of stuff planned for the first half this year, and then I think I have 2 weddings we have to go to next year. I can't tell the destinations, because the people that are going to be in the wedding, well, hopefully the person says yes. So that's one of those things. I don't really want to bring that up on here and be like, oh, guess we're not going there because the wedding's not happening. But yeah, so we'll have some other stuff. But yeah, let's see. So Jen asks, does anyone have any recommendation on the carry-on brands? Last thing I need is teenagers with busted bags or international school trips. So Jen, I swear by Ospreys, and they will make it. You can find ones, and you can say it's carry-on, because remember, U.S. carry-on standards and international carry-on standards, like European, are different. So you can make sure like all students have to have this bag, and those things, like we have them for decades. Okay, I still have them from decades ago, and they're if they wear out, they replace stuff for you, no problem. But Osprey, that's who I recommend all the time. Colin, what's the biggest difference between Italy and the U.S.? We're both loud. We both like to talk a lot. We're both really friendly. Honestly, I would say it's the length of time you eat, whereas in the U.S. you scarf things down. In Italy, if you go out to dinner or you go out to lunch, or you go out for drinks in the afternoon, aperitivi, it's hours, and it's all just talk, conversation, much more developing conversation with people. So don't be surprised you sit down with some Italians and we end up talking for a couple hours about just anything, which is interesting. What else for Italians? I think base level cultural knowledge from things like wine history and obviously Roman history and stuff. Like they're really good at that, better than like base history stuff for U.S. and wine knowledge. But yeah, no, that'd be some of the differences I would see. Hey Sue, good to see you. Let's see. Chase, and a best place to visit in South America. So my favorite place to visit is Brazil. But the thing is, I speak Portuguese, so that makes it a lot easier to enjoy. And so usually what I tell people when they are looking to go to South America, I usually recommend Peru first. I know right now there's some political issues in Peru, so it's not the best place to go right now. But if things calm down, I find Peru to be a very good international destination in South America because it has such a good tourism infrastructure, lots of world famous sites, amazing food. That's where they go that way. For me, I like Brazil, but I'm biased because I live there and I have family there, so I cannot be unbiased in that one. So let's see. Best place to go in Spain. It's not Barcelona. I don't even think Barcelona is the best place to go. Places I really enjoy: Ronda, Spain is really cool. Cordoba, Spain. I'm actually taking students there this year to Cordoba. Also, I'm taking to Barcelona. Also, Granada is fantastic. Where else? Some good ones. If you get to Santiago de Compostela up in the northeast, in the Galicia is not like super great with touristy, but Santiago, when you go there and you see that the pilgrims coming through, that's actually really kind of a cool thing. So, Steve, congratulations! Oh yeah, I just was writing to you guys. The other, just like, was it on Instagram I wrote to you? I'm not sure. Hi, Mark, and I are planning a baby moon for late spring, early summer. Congratulations. We're thinking Spain, Baltic cruise, or Japan. Any thoughts? If you're looking late spring, early summer, here's the thing: late spring in the Baltics can still be rather chilly. That would be much more of a we're going to see sights trip, and Japan would be much more hustle bustle, go go go. And if you're looking for just a chill out kind of thing, then I would go with Spain because you can get food, relaxation. If babies go with, baby will be treated like a king as well. So Spanish like the babies. So that would be my go-to. Like if I had my kids, and I've lived around these places and worked these places, I would probably put Spain for a baby moon there, just for the whole chill out. Let's see. Dan Reeves, hey, how you been, man? Good to see you, buddy. Just finished a book to 10 days and that nice. See, you're ready to go. You're ready to go. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to like click on the next question, but my thing over here, like mine is different than what you see. So it like jumps around. Yes, Dan is correct. Way more processed food in the US than in Italy. And that's honestly, even if you're like, I'm not saying you're like, if you're gluten intolerant or you're like, gluten is not your friend. And it's like the gluten there, it doesn't hurt you as much as it does in the US. It's kind of an interesting thing. Ooh, Staying for bridge 4 weeks in summer in Strasbourg. Nice job, my friend. For those of you who know, I have a bunch of videos on Strasbourg. Our video on the mistakes tourists make when they go. It says like American tourists, but that's because it helps get more views. Mistakes so for all tourists is on. I filmed that one in Strasbourg. I was back there last year, 2 years before that, 4 years before that. So you have a good time, man. There's a lot of food there. You'll notice a lot of restaurants have similar food, especially if you go to the smaller towns around there. We got plenty of videos to help you out, my friend. Risotto eater. Oh, hey. You sound tasty. What is there to do in Charleston, South Carolina, other than Civil War sites? Oddly enough, the Eats of Charleston, I believe, comes out this Sunday. And the Don'ts of Charleston, I believe, come out this Saturday, or at least this Saturday or next Saturday. So you'll have videos for that. But basically, when you go down there, you're eating a lot when you're there. There's so many good restaurants, you don't have to wait in line. But I will tell you, Risotto Eater, since your name is Risotto Eater, if there's restaurants you want to go to, I would actually book them now, just so you know you have a spot, because they book out. Even I was there, we were there in November. Yeah, I was there in November when we were filming, and I was there during the week. And on a random Wednesday and Thursday, we couldn't get seats in certain places. So we were making sure we were booking the other days to make sure we had something. So that would be one thing I would say. When you go around, there's a lot of there's historic home museums you can go to. There's also a lot of historic homes you're going to walk by. I think my first don't of the Don'ts of Charleston is actually don't think all the historic homes or historic home museums, because sometimes people walk up and take pictures in people's houses. So there is that. So, Kate, hey, Mark, looking for advice for traveling sober. So many places have drinking as part of their culture, and I don't want to be rude. Midwest polite to be a fault. Hey, I feel you, my Midwest person, but still enjoy going out. So this is one of those things. New York City, some other places, you're starting to see more like mocktail and sober bars that are popping up. But I'll be honest with you. If you want to not, honestly, I don't hardly drink. Like, I don't like go out and pound beers and stuff. When I go travel, even places where wine is big, I'll just get water. I get my bubble water, enjoy the food, and I'll go to the sites. Even like, going to the Christmas markets in Germany where like hot wine is such a big deal. They have alcohol-free options out there. There's a lot of things out there that it doesn't have to hold you back. Even though places like you think of Germany and Czech Republic, it's all about beer. You can still have a great time without us. Okay, I wouldn't worry about it at all, my friend. Stewie Wooey, back again. Thank you, my friend. Brno in 2 weeks. Perpignan in May. Still looking for October. Possibly Croatia is just joining you. October will be good in Croatia because the weather will still be great. You got a bunch of places you can go to there. I think I have like 10 videos on 10 different locations in Croatia. So you have a good time. They have really good food in Croatia because it's got like the Austrian influence, it's got the Italian influence, it's got the Slavic influence. So you get a lot of different really good foods that's there. And they've all been doing tours in there for thousands of years. So they'll take good care of you, my friend. Don't you worry about that. Let's see. JC in Sarasota. Good to see you. Ron, ready to see what Delta International flights are like. I saw some people were asking what our favorite airline is and who we use. We fly with Delta pretty much exclusively internationally and pretty much exclusively around the U.S. They're not our sponsors. They don't return our phone calls for that. We have had issues with them before. I remember we didn't use them for a long time. When Caleb was a baby, we had some really bad experiences with Delta and their flight attendants, how they treated Jocelyn and Caleb when he was a baby. So we didn't actually fly them from, I think, 2009 to like 2015. And then we either the trip to Iceland, and we finally decided to fly them again because the price was so good. We flew with them, and they lost our bags on the first flight we had with them. But it was such a good experience on how they dealt with it. We actually this is actually pretty good. We ended up flying with them and kept going. And Jocelyn they lost their bags for 9 days of a 10-day trip. Everyone was very nice, but they could never get their bags to her. But that's still kind of our go-to. Oh, Stuart, I hope this year not going to see queues at the airport at security. You will. I don't think it'll be as bad as last year, but you're still going to see quite a few. Laura, I've heard good things about Turkish Air, but I've never flown them, so I can't really say for myself. Okay, Blake, if I only have 5 days on my trip, would you recommend Portugal or Ireland, flying in from Atlanta? I would probably do Portugal because Ireland, you're going to need to rent a car and go explore. I mean, you can take trains around, but I think with 5 days in Portugal, you can split that between Lisbon and Porto and get the two main cities and really get a lot of the culture in those 5 days. Whereas Ireland, since you got to drive around more to take more in, I give yourself more time for a longer Ireland trip, my friend. Poutine Fest in February, always good. Anthony, thank you very much for the super chat. What was the worst place you ever traveled to? The worst place. Sorry, I just filmed a video on this, but I was talking more about the worst experience we had. And that was, Jocelyn on bed rest. We thought we were going to lose the baby. That became Liam. That was probably my worst experience. The worst place I traveled to. Like the most boring place was Asuncion, Paraguay, but it was so boring that it was actually interesting to learn about the history there. But I don't know, worst place. I have to think about that one. It's been a while, so I don't know, because now that I travel so much, I'm like, you know what? I'll give every place a chance. Who do you think has the best pierogi? If you're in the U.S., Cleveland has the best pierogies. Okay, that's that. But otherwise, we got to go to Poland for the pierogies, man. That's where they're from. You got to love it. Thanks, Devin, for the super chat, my friend. Sue, always a pleasure to see you on here. Thank you very much for the super chat. Do you think summer international travel will be super busy again? Rome was busy in January. Yes, the summer will be very busy. I think the revenge travel that was like crazy in summer 2022. I don't think it's going to be, people aren't going to be as nuts. It's going to sound weird. People aren't going to be as nuts about traveling because they got that out of the system last year. But I think there'll be more people traveling this summer than last summer, just because now people see that, you can travel, things are working again, things are back up again. So I think that's one of those things there. So yeah, Sue, fingers crossed. But I don't know, this summer I have 2 European trips booked already, and I was hoping to make it just one really long one, but I have to come back for something. So, and when I go back, it's like peak. Oh God, this is gonna suck at the airport time. So there is that. Oh. It's not me 07. Thank you very much. Yes, please do hit that like button. It's very nice of you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Ania, traveling to Italy in June with my husband and kids, 7, 9. Oh, you'll be fine. They'll have a good time. They'll eat well. People treat them nice. 3 weeks, Rome, Cinque Terre, Interlaken, Switzerland, the Dolomites, Venice, Tuscany, Amalfi Coast, Puglia, Rome, car train. I would train. Parking in all those places suck. Make sure you're getting your tickets to permission to go into Cinque Terre already, so you have that booked and set up beforehand. But yeah, there's it's so much drive, and it's not, the distance aren't crazy, but it's just such a headache trying to find parking, because a lot of hotels have no parking if you're in the center. So then you have to find a place to get a parking thing outside. It's just you take the train and do it that way, especially with the kids, because that gives them space to get around and stuff. A little bit safer too. I'm not saying you're a bad driver, but better safe than sorry. Grant, thank you very much for the super chat. Very nice of you. BC, yes, lots of experience. I had lots of experience at Eurostar for many years. If you're going to Paris, London, I would just hit the Eurostar. I wouldn't fly. Jim and Harriet, wait, where are you all right now? Don't you just went on a trip someplace? I believe, because Josh just said you guys were someplace. I can't remember where because I think you even told me, and I'm a horrible friend for not remembering. So Donovan, we got a job in northern France besides Calais and Paris. Calais is not even that great. I would go if you want to stay in France, because you can get anywhere with the TGVs. Bordeaux is great. You can go over to Normandy and see that. But if you're in the northern part, you can get into like Bruges and Ghent in Belgium, get over to Amsterdam, break it over to Cologne in Germany. Very easy train rides, no problem. Oh my gosh, Henry, where you been, buddy? I haven't seen you for like a year. Hey, Mark, how are you? Remember me? I truly hope the new year started well for you and the family. It's been a long minute since I've come on YouTube videos. Long-time supporter since April 2014. I know, Henry. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. Yeah, Henry used to, for years, we had, even before we did the Whiskey Wednesdays and all the stuff during the pandemic, Henry was on here all the time, man. Good to see you again. That's nice. I like when people come back after they haven't been on for a while. That's really nice. Julian, thank you for the super chat. And Julian, if you don't know, Julian asked about, is Germany safe or not safe? And I have zero problems. Like, no, I would let my kid, my oldest is 16. I'd let him go there with buddies, or whatever. So not a problem. Thank you for the clarification about Germany. Is New England lobster good? I've only ever had canned lobster. I'm meaning to try a lobster roll. Yes, Julian. And Julie, you're going to have two different kinds. You can have the cold one, which is like mixed with mayonnaise and some other stuff. So that's the cold one. Then there's the hot one, which is like got just doused in like melted butter. That's the good one. That's the really good one. They're both fantastic, but that's the one you want. If you're going to be going to New England, I recommend going to Ford's Lobster in, I think it's not Groton. What's near, we have videos on our Eats in Connecticut. I talk about it, but they have this thing called a lobster bomb, which is lobster bisque in a bread bowl with extra lobster tails in it. Amazing. It's amazing. You're going to just, yes. When they have lobster, you say, yes. And that's all you need to know, Julian. So thank you very much for the super chat. Yeah, Truffle Tigger John. Yeah, true. A friend who's gluten sensitive says she has less problems with gluten in Europe than here. She knows she can eat German broad and French croissants with little to no consequence. It's the same for Jocelyn. I mean, Jocelyn, honestly, she has she has a bite of my hamburger with bun. Like she feels it. Like her face breaks out. Like, but when she goes over there, but she's not like shoveling in croissants every day, but she eats it, has no problem. That was very interesting for us to find out. Oh, Mike with the Cleveland help for pierogi. Nice, my friend. Who has better Asian dishes, Champagne or Chicago? Chicago by far. I don't really find a lot of really good, decent Asian places here, in the Champaign-Urbana area, to be honest. Ooh, going to Athens, Greece in 10 days, and he must see dudes. So, Jesus Abundus, I don't know how long you're going to be in Athens. Athens doesn't have a ton. So what you want to do, you go to the Acropolis, see the Parthenon, but then go to the new Acropolis Museum, go to the National Museum, walk around the Plaka, eat outside, even if it's chilly, they'll have the heaters, eat outside, do a day trip out to, you can go to Delphi. There's a bunch of tours that'll go for a day trip. You can do that. I actually like Nafplio. If you want to go to Nafplio for an overnight, that's a nice thing there. Mykonos is like a 2-hour ferry. So you got a lot of options. So thank you for the soup chat, by the way. Casual dude, do you use airport lounges? When I get them for free, yes. But now I don't get them for free anymore. So you will not see me too often there. Now the only times if I can actually get in, because you used to be able to pay to get in. Now they have so many crazy new rules now. If I have more than like 4 hours layover, then I'll try to get one. Otherwise, I'll just wander around because the food is, though it's like you pay $50 when it was like $30 to get in. You're like, oh, I can make that up in alcohol and in food. But now at $50 per person, I'm like, dude, I can get like a real meal at one of the nicer restaurants outside instead. So that's kind of where I am now. Yes, Stu makes point. Buy Train Italia tickets online, no validations. Buy tickets early for good deals. I mean, this one is very true. We would get the Bambini ticket it's like a family ticket because Liam was under 12 or something, and it was cheaper for us to get first class for Liam, me, and Jocelyn. Like when we bought it 2 weeks early than it was if you would go the day of and buy second class tickets. It was cheaper to do that. So buy early, you'll be fine to go. You'll be good to go. Denargo, hey, I love your videos. Been watching for years. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Happy travels to you wherever you are. Worst gotta poop travel story. Probably gonna have to put that on another channel because I try to keep the Walter's World channel a little bit more clean, let's say. And yeah, I'll make a video on that one, casual dude. That would I probably have to put on the shorts channel because that was more fun. Let's see. Adrian Levina, sorry. Thank you for the super chat. How is the craft beer in Spain compared to the U.S. craft beer scene? So this is one of the things. Everyone makes fun of U.S. beer all the time. Like you're on the road, oh, American beer, blah, 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 American beer. Here's the thing. The craft beer stuff, the U.S. has done very good with their craft beer when it's good craft beer. The problem is there's a lot of bad craft beer in the U.S., just like there's a lot of bad craft beer in Europe. I think if we look at craft beer stuff, I would go with U.S. craft beer over European craft beer or Spanish craft beer. In Spain in general, even their macro brews aren't that great. I would actually drink their craft beer way over their like San Miguel and stuff. I've never been really impressed with the Spanish beer, to be honest. If I look at countries where I think have the worst beer in Europe, Spain is near the bottom. That's why their wine is fantastic. And just drink the wine to be good to go. But yeah, their craft beer scene in Spain is way better than their macro brews. But I still think US does a bit better. So Del Boy wants to know they're going to Riga. There's not much else in Riga. You got Sigulda, which is like ruins. You could just take, you can get a driver to take you, a taxi to take you to the beaches to the west of Riga. That's about it, to be honest. So let's see. Thank you very much, Nora, for the super sticker. I know like what I'm using doesn't show it here, but I appreciate you putting it up there. That's very nice of you. Thank you. So Kelly is looking to fly from the East Coast of the U.S. to Hawaii. So basically, if you want to do it to kind of break it up, you might be going to either L.A. or Seattle when you're going to do it, and give yourself if there's a nice little layover, then maybe go hit the shower, go pay the money to go in the lounge for a few hours to kind of refresh. Because it is not a short flight. That's the thing you don't realize is going to Hawaii. People are like, well, I'll go to Hawaii, but I won't go to Europe. Europe's too far. I'm like, if you're in the Midwest or the East Coast, Europe is closer and shorter than going to Hawaii. And it's also a lot cheaper than flying to Hawaii. So something there. Let's see. Vincenzo Russo, any safety precautions required or areas to avoid in Naples? Yes, Naples, you do need to pay attention to your stuff on the metro, on the Circumvesuvia, the train that goes out the Amalfi Coast, and to Pompeii. You got to watch your stuff all the time. Like the cops are on there too, trying to help you out. They're like, hey, watch out, zip up your bag. You want to be careful with that. Probably your biggest danger, though, is crossing the street. Follow the locals with that, okay? That would be my biggest savers one because I've seen people get hit and they fly. It's not pretty. So be careful with that. Sorry. I'm trying not to eat with my mouth full, but for some reason my nose is all clogged up now. Ethan Lance, travel tips for interior Alaska. Love the channel. Thank you, Ethan. Sadly, I have not personally been to Alaska, so I can't give you any specific things on there. I know when we've looked at it before, because we talked to a few companies about doing cruises up there for them and reviewing. It seemed like if you want to do the interior, you don't sign up for a cruise to come up from Seattle. You fly up, and then you book a tour that's inland, because they do have inland tours there. But specific names and things I do not have. I'm sorry, Ethan. Yes, Adam Smith, craft beer in New England can be great. Oh, yeah, Connecticut's got great beer. Long Island's got great. Well, I know Long Island's not New England, but that's some good stuff. Vermont, like people, when the new beers come out in Vermont, it's in our Dunks Vermont video and Eats Vermont video, whatever, they announce that, hey, we're releasing our yearly batch. People drive up to Vermont just to go get the beer there because it's so good. So, BC, thank you again for the super chat. Do you ever get exhausted during a long trip? You know, sometimes, because like, for example, in the summers, I might go for 10 to 13 weeks straight of traveling, and that can be a bit much. But what I'll do, and this is something that you can do even if you're on a 10-day trip. Well, Jack and Ginger and dip my Biscoff cookie. One thing we do is we actually plan kind of do nothing days. And the do nothing day we won't be doing nothing, but it might be, you know what, in the morning, Jocelyn stays with the kids at the hotel or the apartment rental. Kids just watch Netflix. Or they play games. They play with their phone, whatever. It's just like they're doing nothing. I'll go out and I'll film. Then I come back. We have lunch together. I'll take the kids back to the hotel. She'll go shopping for the afternoon, do her own thing. So we get kind of a break where it's not like museum, church, museum, cathedral, square. Museum, cathedral, square. Because that gets really, like, you do get burned out of that. So that's why we always plan in some things. And like with the kids, we'll look for like amusement parks or just parks in general to go and like have a nice relaxing time there. And that's one of those things that sometimes just kind of look for, hey, let's try something different. Like if you're in the US, go look for a bounce house or a those trampoline parks for kids, like give them something different to do so they have a nice time, even if you only give them like an hour or two of those things. It's like we did a lot of travel around the US the last couple of years because of COVID. And like all of a sudden we were going to Dave and Buster's just to give the kids, you know what? It's 4 weeks now of going, no, it wasn't that long. Well, it was 4 weeks we were gone, but like we didn't stop, like in the middle, we're like, hey, you know what? There's Dave and Buster's here in Buffalo. We're gonna just chill out here. We just went to Dave and Buster's and went and saw Black Widow and then went back to Dave and Buster's and then, just to give them that time to kind of break it up, so that made it a little bit easier. So yeah, because sometimes you do get exhausted. And that's where you see people kind of that's where you see fights and you see friends breaking up. And I'll see, especially because like in May and June, you have a lot of backpackers that go, like college grads, and you'll see a lot of college grads that have broken up. Like, oh, I started this trip with a girlfriend, with a boyfriend, and they're not there anymore. So there's that. Lefty Buckles, thank you very much for the super sticker. I know it's not showing up on here, but I can see it, so thank you very much. I appreciate it, my friend. Let's see. So, head to Milan with your mom. Be careful. The people that'll try to give you wristbands and flowers will be super aggressive, and they'll be super aggressive with even older tourists. So just tell them to just say no, and they'll call you the most horrible things. They'll accuse you of being many, many things. Just walk away. There's a fashion museum we're going to see. If you go to La Scala and see a performance of the opera there, that's fantastic. What else? There's the castle. You can go to the Sforzo, the fortified castle that's there. It's kind of close to the Duomo. You can walk to it. There's that. There's a couple museums. There's the Canal District where you can go out and eat. That's kind of a fun place to go. So just some places to think about. Henry, thank you, my friend. Mark, do you think 2023 travel will return back to 2019 levels or more 2024? By the way, I really enjoyed your conversation on Chris Wilson's podcast last December. Will Jocelyn be coming later? Jocelyn she's with Caleb, so they're out chilling. They're out doing stuff. They're doing mother-son things, so she will not be with us tonight. Do I think 2023? Yes, travel levels will be back to 2019. Service levels will not. I don't think service levels. I don't even know if service levels will be back in 2024. To be honest. I think by 2025 you'll have it back because you have a lot of economic downturn right now around the world. So it's tougher for places to hire back, even to take advantage of these opportunities. So I think you're really still going to need to have patience and just know that not everything's going to work. You got to wait for stuff on your travels next summer. Should we maybe try to travel earlier in the summer? That's the thing. It gets really bad once you get about July 1st. If you can get your travels in, like if the kids get out of school May 20th, if you're leaving May 22nd, I would do that. And then you're back maybe end of June. Because once you hit July 1st, that's when most of Europe goes on their vacations and things get a lot more hectic. So that would be my recommendation, Henry. But thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. I'll tell Jocelyn said, hey, because she remembers you too. Because we were talking, I was like, hey, I haven't seen, there's you. And then we had Tosh T, who was a commenter for a long time on a number of our channels. I worry he just disappeared, so I'm hoping nothing bad happened to him. I hope he decided I don't like the internet. That would be a nice way, because I don't want anything bad to happen anymore. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. So, hey Andy, good to see you. Chrissy, I'm going on a cruise next month with a stop in the Dominican Republic. Have you been there? If so, is it safe to go exploring on your own? Not super safe to go exploring on your own. If you're in Punta Cana, it's a little bit safer, less bad. But like Santo Domingo, I mean, you can do it. I have friends who've done it, but you need to be on top of things. Hire a local guide and a local driver to do it if you're going to do that. We're actually going there. Actually, we're going there in a few weeks. And I'll let you know more since you're going to be going next month. So if you write me later this month, I can give you some insights. So that could be helpful. Paul Snyder, hey, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. What do you reckon for 3 days into Frankfurt? So for those of you that want to go to Frankfurt, one thing I'll tell you, it got totally wiped out during the war. And when it was rebuilt, they call it Manhattan because it's got high rises and sky rises, or skyscrapers and high rises. And that's kind of like cool for Europe because you don't see that a lot. But there's only like one historic old part they rebuilt. That's worth going to see. That's where you have your apple wine and you see a few things. Right across the river from that, there's a couple museums to see. But what I do, Paul, is take one of your days and go do a wine tour. And there's plenty of tour companies that do like the riverboat wine tour stuff down the Rhine. I would do that for one of your days for sure. That would be the best thing to do. Oh, Harry. Oh, okay. Oh, you're going to Portugal on Wednesday. Okay. I thought you were. That's right. Jocelyn gave us some wonderful tips, places, restaurant. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. You all have a fun time. Have some porco preto for me, the black pork. Oh, so good. Or any of the seafood. You'll be fine. You'll be just fine. And thank you very much again, Jim and Harriet, for the super chat. That's very nice. Richard, any thoughts on New Zealand? Every time I try to go there, some stupid thing happens and I can't go. So I haven't been there yet. So I don't like to give advice on places that I haven't personally been to. So there is that. Further down, thoughts on Greyhound buses. They're cheap to go places. However, if you have to measure your time as part of the price, it might not be the cheapest way to go. You might be better off buying a train ticket way in advance when it's a lot cheaper. That might be a better thing out there. But if you don't have the cash, it'll get you where you want to go. Just be careful because usually bus stations aren't usually the nicest places to be. So just have a heads up with that. So Michael asks, are the salt mines around Salzburg worth it? I'm in Munich and don't know whether not to hop down. Salzburg itself is worth going to. You can just do that. The salt mines, it's good for half a day. I mean, I'll be honest with you, good for half a day. Thanks, Mike. That's really nice of you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Sorry, it's jumping around on me. Anthony, thank you very much for the super chat. Have I ever been to China? Yes, actually, I taught for a whole summer in Beijing, and while we were there, we had the weekends off, so we went to Shanghai, Tianjin, Xi'an, all around Beijing. Like, Jocelyn knows it really well. Like, I worked for 7 weeks, and she just explored Beijing and around, so she knows a lot better than I do. But the culture there was incredible. It was a completely different experience what you think it's going to be. Like, I would go back in a heartbeat. Fun place to be, fun time to go to. Nick, any tips for Oktoberfest as a first timer? I was just in Munich in November, so I missed it, but we'll be there in September 23. Okay, I hope you already booked your hotel. That's one. Okay, otherwise, book a table and have your train to go in and out. If you don't have a seat reservation, if you're not sitting at a seat there, they won't let you in. Actually, Nick, we actually have a Don'ts of Oktoberfest video that goes through like the rules, regulations, how to have fun, not have fun when you're there. If you don't, expect to get your drinking done early and then go explore some of the sites. And then if you can't stay in Munich, you can get out to some other towns and stay a little bit farther away. So you can do that. It's fun to go to. Like when I've been like for when it opens up, I've gone in. And it's like me and my friends, and we're sitting at a table with a bunch of like older Germans, and they're drinking away too. We're having a good time. It's a good way to meet people. I'll give you that one. Know your limit. Also, don't do roller coasters after you've done like 6 beers. Just friendly advice from your friend, Mark. And then, do your friends or family ever get jealous that you travel so much? You know, my friends and my family sometimes say it, but do it in a joking way. So it's more like, and I think because we travel so much that they're like, that's really cool, but that's maybe too much traveling for me. Because I know when Joss and I were dating, you know, she's like, I like to travel. I'm like, I like to travel too. And then she's made comments years later. She's like, you know I said I like to travel, but I didn't realize how much traveling we would do. So yeah, so it's something like that. Let's see. Nice to see that we have the bots coming in. That's nice. I apologize. I don't know if I have any of my other. I'm trying to ban some of the people that are on here. So I apologize if some of the comments aren't very nice. So Defiance writes, booked a couple tickets to Tokyo for an amazing deal. However, we were limited to 7 days. Will we still enjoy it or will we feel rushed? You can pull it off, but I would only do 2 cities. I would do Tokyo and Kyoto because you take the fast train in between. Just focus on those 2 and don't be upset that you didn't see more. Because once you start worrying about what else we missed, then it takes away from enjoying that time you're there. And that's not just for that's anywhere you go. Like that's why I always tell people, it's like, look, if you're going to do like 20 cities in 18 days. Don't expect to see a lot. You're going to be worn out, but if you want to really enjoy the culture, I would do Tokyo and Kyoto in those 2 days. So, where are the most beautiful caves? Ooh. I like the grottos, like the cave, the sea caves in Portugal, near Lagos, Portugal. I like them. And then I like the caves outside of Ljubljana, Slovenia. Those are some other really nice ones I would recommend to go to. Both countries, affordable, Portugal's kind of getting overrun right now, but still underpriced for a place to go. Like I would recommend both those places, no problem at all. Lefty Buckles, thank you for the super chat. Spending 3 days in March in Amsterdam with some friends, and he must do this for Amsterdam. You got to walk through the red light district just to see it. But I would say that the Van Gogh Museum, which is right next to the Rijksmuseum, those are 2 museums you should go to. Do a canal tour. If you want to go to the Anne Frank house, book your tickets now. Otherwise, you probably won't get in. Also, if you're going there for more culture, you might want to stay in like a city like Haarlem or Utrecht to have more of a chill out evenings. If you're there to go have a good time and party, then stay in Amsterdam. But do know, like, as you probably know, the prices for accommodation in Amsterdam are stupid, insane. So be ready for that. And don't pack. It's only 3 days, so have a little backpack because you're going to have stairs that are like this steep. So be safe that way. Let's see. No problem, Nick. Glad to help out. Well, hey, Claire, how are you? Back in the day. Those who invited my master's in Germany, and Biesdorf was in a dorm there. Good to see you. My goodness. How do you find Berlin has changed in the last 20 years? Okay, so when we lived there 20 years ago, you didn't have, there was like one KFC and no Starbucks. Now you have Starbucks all over the place. It's like, what people need to realize is Berlin went bankrupt in about 2003 or 4. Bad real estate investments, and they thought what was going to happen, wiped it out. They had to sell everything, put the city behind the 8 ball. So they really were selling stuff off like crazy. So you go there now, there's all these new buildings, new age stuff. It's really good for freelancers and consultants because there's no like full-time stuff. It's all like part-time work. If you're, or like freelancer work, there's a lot of, how do I say it? Like there's a lot of digital nomads that go there. It is definitely the least German city in Germany. It is more of a, I'm not going to say London. It's more of an international cosmopolitan, like American city, not in terms of that there's a lot of new buildings and those kind of things like that. That's one thing there. So that kind of like counterculture vibe that Berlin had in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s is gone. Like it looks like a sellout. So Claire, good to see you. That's awesome. Good times. Many dance nights. Many dance nights down in the beer keller. Good times. That's what I love about this. You see some of your old friends on here. That's awesome. Hi, Liam Walters. How are you? Hope you're doing well, my friend. If you want to check out Liam's channel, that's Liam's channel, Liam Walters. He does food review videos and some toy reviews occasionally, so you can say hi to him on there. John Raj, what's a good place to visit in Canada? My favorite is Quebec City. My second is going to be Toronto. 3 is going to Banff. 4 is going to Prince Edward Island. Those are my top 4 right there. Let's see. Have you guys ever done a river cruise? I have done coastal cruises and bigger cruises and Mediterranean and Baltic cruises, but the river cruises I haven't done because they drive me crazy. However, I have a video coming out in a few weeks on the love and hates of cruising in Europe. And one thing that's good about river cruises, when the rivers are high, and they were not high last year, so your river cruises turn more into bus tours, is the fact that if you're staying on the cruise ship, you're right downtown, these small towns, and the accommodation's right there. I think if I looked at all the kind of cruises that are out there, river cruise would be probably the one I would enjoy the most. Yeah, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Oh, you can go check my buddy Mark. He's got his own channel, Escaping the Empty Nest. He and his wife Terry go around and travel and give advice out there on travels too, so you can check out them. Liam, you're a popular man. Henry, thank you again, my friend. What are your thoughts on Flixbus? Is it better than Greyhound? Also, do you guys have any plans on finally exploring Hawaii sometime this year? So, Hawaii, we did not get to during the COVID times, and I don't know when we're going back because the prices to go to Hawaii, I can do a lot more. Like we can go to Europe, we can go to Asia, we can go to a lot of stuff in South America for the price of going to Hawaii. So financially speaking, I can't justify going there right now. So there is that. So probably won't be there anytime soon. Flixbus, for those who don't know, Flixbus is a European like Greyhound bus system, but it's a lot nicer. I kind of equate the Flixbuses more with the higher end buses that you take in South America and Central America, going places with internet and TVs and air conditioning and drinks and a functioning toilet on their thing. So yeah, no, Flixbus is fine. I haven't had any problems with them. Yes, don't get run down by a bike in Amsterdam. That is very true. Very true. So is Georgia on your list? It seems like it's next. Portugal, cheap, tons of sea, great food. So right now, Central Asia is not on our list because right now what we're looking at is to transition to the Middle East and Africa. We still have our European stuff, so we're trying to get because we've got some Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt. Like those are the ones that are coming up. Looking at maybe Dubai and Turkey as well for later this year, and then Ethiopia. Then we're going back to Central and South America as well. So we're kind of going there before we're getting to Central Asia. So that's a little bit farther off. Not that I say I wouldn't go, because I would definitely go. But that's what I'd say. Let's see. So Dan asks, well, hey, Mark, what's up? Did Delta ever square up with you guys after the whole lost bag debacle? No. So Jocelyn has been working on filing her claim. And I'm going to tell you right now, people, when you file your claim, they will make it as complicated and confusing as possible. So you have to reapply because you wait too long, then you can't file a complaint. So her and her friend have been having to like jump through hoops to try to get things going again. And they've been trying to call people and they're not getting people. And she's even called the platinum line and it's not helping because she's getting sent to baggage and they're not doing it. And so she's that's her project for this week because she tried it last week. And all I know is I did not bother her. She was actually sitting in this chair over here at this table. And I was not getting near her because she was going to hurt somebody. So there's that. Leonard, must-dos in Lisbon. Oh, love Lisbon. Liam was born there, actually. So, Liam, is that really you or is that somebody pretending to be you? So, yeah. Let's see. The must-dos for Lisbon. The Gulbenkian Museum is the one museum. Well, that museum you should go to. The Museum of Arte Antigua, the ancient art museum, is worth going to see. You're going to go out and bar out to have drinks. Go up to the São João Castle and see the views up there. Or Castle São Jorge. You go up there. You're going to eat around there for things. Take the train down and get to one of the city beaches. Day trip up to Sintra for the palaces. That's what I recommend for you to do. Favorite place in Seattle? The Pop Culture Museum. That's my favorite place. Beautiful. Beautiful, cool museum to go to. Not beautiful, it's cool what they have all there. Chris Frankie, hey, my friend, good to see you. I too have ancestry from there. My mom and I found their old church. It was cool. My question is, how many days should be allowed for Strasbourg? So if you're in a hurry, you need kind of 2 full days to get everything. I give yourself 3 full days there. And then I would probably go down to Colmar for a day or two, like to do that. If you use it as a base, I have a video coming out that's a day trips from there. But you go to Freiburg, Germany, you can get down to Basel, Switzerland for really great day trips as well. So, yeah, PEI is great. I'm definitely there with you. Thomas Reiser, good to see you, my friend. Flex trains in Europe as well as buses. Yeah, lots of options. That's what's great now. I mean, so I found my old box of mementos when I was an exchange student in Finland in the 90s. And I was going through, like, I had the train timetables and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just thinking about how much easier it is now to travel around Europe and go see things. And it's so much more available to people because there's so many more affordable options that you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to go see Europe. You can just be a normal family going. So it's really, really cool. So going on a family trip to France in March, any intel on protests, like, will be okay for a few days? I've been there when there's been major protests, and I haven't had any issues. We actually walked through some of them. The only thing you need to worry about is if it's a train one or a plane one that might affect your flights. But the airlines usually let you know. The train ones you got to look online to see. But usually people are very helpful. Just ask your concierge at your hotel. They will definitely let you know. Giro, this is like family time. I had Claire from Britain. Liam was on here. Giro. So those who know, I actually lived in Brazil. And Giro Amadir here is my host dad from down there. One of the awesomest guys ever. He says we're anxious for your arrival because we're going down to Brazil to visit him and hang in the Fim do Mundo, o Buraco, a hole down in Brazil. Can't wait to see you too. Love you. Yes, it is me. Ah, yes, the joys of Liam. Good, buddy. Let's see. Oh, Lean Donut. Hey, Dr. Walters, I want to let you know I graduated my MBA. Thanks for your support. Glad I could help out. I hope the videos can help somewhat, but you did that. That's awesome. Congratulations. Zachary, we love you in Cleveland. Thank you. I appreciate it. We love Cleveland. I don't want people are such jerks about Cleveland. We don't love Cleveland. I'd move there. That was a cool city. What's the most romantic city in Europe? Romantic city in Europe. Well, you could go for like a Ravenna in Italy or a Lucca in Italy. If you're looking like for France, for a bigger one, I like Bordeaux, but it's kind of romantic. Like if you want to go for the small, there's some small quaint ones. Like some places have some nice places, but the romance is very different. Like sometimes it's the false name, like the Romantic Road in Germany, not romantic. So yeah. So who knows? Let's see. Oh, well, Catherine, I wish I could have gone with you to Antarctica. That's awesome. I'm glad the videos can help with Argentina. That is so cool. I'm glad you're still there, Liam. Who do I have in the Super Bowl, Eagles or Chiefs? Here's the thing. Both Philadelphia and Kansas City were equally surprising tourist destinations because they both have great museums, great food. People get bad raps from those places because I actually love both those cities. But I think I'm probably going to go with the Chiefs on this one. So, BC, is Brazil safe for solo travelers? I've traveled a number of times by myself. You got to be careful though. You got to pay attention. You know, if you're not sure you should be in a place, you shouldn't be there. If the taxi's like, "Are you sure you want to go there?" You don't want to go there. Okay, so be ready for that. Henry, my friend, thank you for helping me put Liam through college. I'll be here to the end, Mark, but enjoy the rest of your evening. Truly hope you can have more of these great travel chats more often. Gracias, Mark. Henry, you know, I appreciate your help, buddy. And I'm trying to do more of these now because I'll be honest with you, once we get to about the middle of July, our channel just dies. And the entire fall, there's nobody. I mean, there's people. We still get like, I don't know, 1 million, 2 million views. But it's like it's like the questions, the comments, like they kind of just die off until after Christmas. And then they start to come back up again. And usually when we get to, you know, like March, when people start asking me a lot of summer travel questions, but I've started to get so many summer travel questions already in January. We're going to be doing more of these live feeds just to help out when people have questions. That's why I feel bad for those of you that you're sending me in things like, love your videos, merci beaucoup, derrière. Like I can't get to everybody's questions. We will have more of these, so don't worry. And if I miss it, you can put a question again when I'm scrolling through. But I'll be doing more of these. They won't be as long, like the 3 or 4 hour ones. We're not going to have that. They're going to be more like an hour, like today, or an hour and a half, you know, kind of videos to answer your questions. But we will be having more stuff out there. Also, on our Shorts channel, we're also answering questions that people send us, and some of the questions we actually put on videos here. And to help people get ready for summer travel, we're actually going to move from 2 videos a week, you know, Wednesday and Saturday. Now we're going to have Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday videos through May to get people ready for summer travel. So we're going to have more stuff, and I'm going to try to put more like advice videos on there, because not just because we have one like the scams New York City's coming out, but I also have a video on how to avoid getting scammed just in general. You know, how much cash should you take with you? Like these kind of like videos I think are going to be helpful. They're short, some of them are shorter, you know, it's just to help people travel better and give them some ideas. So doing what we can. Oh, Darian, good to see you, my friend. Did you get the spaghetti ice video I sent on Walt's World Eats? We got that for you. Oh, Quinn, do you see European flights coming down at all over $1,500 right now? No, honestly. They've announced a lot more flights to go into Europe starting like in May, so that should bring down the price a little bit. But right now, I'd say, buy your ticket if you're going to go, and then if you see it drops a lot, get that, cancel. If you're like with Delta, you can cancel, get the e-credit, buy the new thing, and then you have the money left over for another Delta flight. But yeah, it's tough. Kangaroo, any plans to visit Wisconsin? Yes. Our kids are going to a camp up there this summer. So when we drop them off, we'll be up in Dora County. Like every time we go to Wisconsin, like, did you go to Dora County? You should go to Dora County. Have you been to Dora County? Got to go to Dora County. Like now, we go to Green Bay for games, and we go to Madison. So, but we will be getting there. I actually already have the video. I have half the don'ts of Wisconsin already written, and I've got the eats on there as well. And there's Liam. What's up, buddy? Come say hi. There's Liam. See, meta. He's on the screen and he's right there. Crazy stuff. Oh yes. Anyway, I know that's you.
Long delay.
Oh, it's a long delay. Oh, Liam's watching the delay versus right now, and he's like, wait a minute. So anyway, that's a lot of live streaming. You just left? Okay. Yeah, no, because here's the thing. It won't be like every week, but it'll be probably one every other week. Sometimes it will be weekly. I'm not sure, but I will be doing more just to help out to get people their questions and stuff. Because I know I haven't got a ton. I mean, I've tried to answer as many questions as I can on here. Jamie, favorite Caribbean island for a family. We really love Jamaica, but that's because we understood how to be like, hey, thank you for offering your stuff. We've already bought our souvenirs, but I love what you do. Respect, fist bump, and then it's done, and you don't get pissed off at them. If that kind of stuff upsets you, then I would probably go for like a Cayman Islands where you're not having as many buskers bothering you, or Puerto Rico or something like that. So, yeah, no, our prices are horrible for June. Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to teach in Europe this summer. Like I have one of my tickets that I already bought, and it literally was $1,500. But I'm like, you know what? I've got it taken care of. And I was talking to my work. I'm like, we need to book these things. Like I was like December. I'm like, we need to have this. We're going to wait. I'm like, fine, just try. It's silly. Let's see. Liam saying goodbye. Night, buddy. I'm gonna have to get him to bed, so I have to take off here in a sec. But at Grizz, is Vegas worth going to in present day? I heard it's different than it was even 10 years ago. More money, less comps. Yes, and yes, and yes. Yes, it's still worth going to see. Yes, it does cost more money, and yes, you get less free comp stuff. You're right. You're right. It sucks, but yeah, but it's still worth going to. It still is worth going to for sure. Tom, my brother, I'm glad you like the Eats of Pittsburgh video. I appreciate your help on that. I'm trying to find my Eat My Don'ts of Pittsburgh video so I can put that up here in a few weeks, but it's disappeared, so I might have to have re-edited, so that sucks. But hopefully we'll get that ready for you, and we'll have those things up and running. Let's see. I'll answer a couple more, and then I'm going to head out. Woo, Thomas! Booked my first cruise in Alaska in July. Yeah, I know. I can't wait to see your pictures, my friend. CKI. That's right, my friend. I. Yes, that's the only thing. Flights to Vegas aren't that expensive, but a lot of the other stuff is. I'm glad you had fun in Nashville, my friend. Ooh. Should go back to El Salvador for the Bolos de Fuego in Nejapa in August 31st. That would be cool. I'll have to check my schedule for that. I liked El Salvador. We had a good time. That was the last place we went to before COVID shut everything down. Like we were at the airport and all the workers at the airport were masked up. Everyone was masked up. Everyone was like gloves and stuff. And we're like, this might be bad. This might be bad. So Ollie travel, cheap vacation to Hawaii are possible? No, I don't think so. So, I mean, it's expensive there for the locals. I mean, I feel sorry for them, the price they have to pay. So, yeah. Heather, you're very welcome for the videos on Portugal and Spain. I'll have a Don'ts of Portugal video coming out. Oh, you're doing a road trip there. I don't think it'll be out in time for you. Maybe it'll be out. Maybe out in time for March. Depending when you're going to go. But we'll have some stuff there for you. So have fun. Let's see. Get a couple more here. Hey, Mark, going to Canada, New York City in April. I want to see what you would recommend for phone service while in Canada. Would you recommend prepaid service? Just use Wi-Fi? Thanks in advance. So travel cam, I usually just go, like my phone service gives me like a $10 a day international thing. I just do that because then I have my own phone number and I have to worry about having a different number or an eSIM or whatever. I usually just do that because you just using Wi-Fi, which you have to realize is Wi-Fi that we all feel it's a got to give it right. You don't always have it. And so if you need to get that Uber at 10 o'clock at night and the store is closed, there you might turn off their Wi-Fi and you might be out of luck. So wildlife cruise through Antarctica. No, I have not been. We will be going to Antarctica when Liam's a little bit older. So thank you, Chuck. I appreciate it. Dan, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Someone was asking about the best. Thank you. So Ernest Rojas was asking for the best season to go to London and the UK. I've been every single month and I've had a good time. The only time I think the weather was kind of cruddy was December. I was just there for 2 weeks in January and it was fine. I've had sunburn in the summer, so it's one of those things. You might get lucky, it'll be fine the whole time, but other times you might not get so lucky. So yeah, I mean, you have a good time anytime you go. That's the thing is the city's geared to have fun if it's pouring down rain or if it's sunny. So that'll be a good thing to do. Julian, thank you again for the super chat. What's your favorite French cheese? I want to go there for the cheese alone. Oh God. What's the one? We usually go with a blue. So what we'll do, we'll go to the bakery and we go to the cheese shop and we stop by the market and we'll get like apples, cheese, and baguettes. And we'll literally just sit at the park and watch people go by and like take a hunk of blue cheese, bite an apple, or with the blue cheese on the baguette. There's some just yes. They have cheese, just say yes, Julian, and take it all. Just get small. What's cool is they'll cut you little tiny parts so you can just try a lot of different ones out there. Oh, you'll be good. Yes. Fabian. Hey, Mark. Just saw your video in Vienna. I'm going there with my friends in March. Are there any great local food spots or whatever to check out? So some people say if you go to Prater, there's like this Swiss house or Schweizer house, I think. They get their pork shoulder, which I talk about in the video. That's one. But there you really want to go to the cafes and have the torts and stuff and the cakes. And that's what you really want. Like that's the good stuff you want to have when you're there. Otherwise, there's a lot of good things, a lot of good, oddly enough, Italian food there, which some people find lots more tasty than Austrian food, but you can have some good stuff when you're there. Historically Martin, thank you very much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. BC, April, May, in London or September? I would probably do April, May, just because everybody's excited because the summer's coming, and so everybody's outside. Whereas September, people are starting to think, oh, the weather's going to start turning bad. Oh, so I have not been. Oh, so thank you for this thing. I have not been to Salt Lake City. My mom goes once or twice a year because she has friends that live there. She loves it. She loves the restaurant scene there. But I have not gone. But I've talked to her. I think we might go together next January. So then we'll have videos next year for it. So yeah. Rachel asking a lot of walking. What are your go-to walking shoes? I actually used to have Merrells, but I don't like those anymore. I have Echoes for like dress shoe looking stuff, and then I have Asics or what the heck is that other brand I wear? I can't think of the other brand, the tennis shoe type I wear. So I mix it to where I'm going to go. If it's winter, I'll take my more dressy looking shoes. In the summer, I'll wear like a nice pair of tennis shoes, like a nice Asics that you can wear with jeans, but you also wear with shorts. That looks kind of okay, so I have to bring a lot of stuff. Jocelyn, she has a whole video, like the 5 rules of shoes when you travel. Look that up. Just like Walter's World, 5 rules of shoes. That video will come up, and Rachel and give you some ideas. So there's that. Oh, we got a new member for Nora F. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you joining the crew. Thank you so much. It's really nice. Thank you, Nora. That's very nice. It's a wonderful way to finish this live feed. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for being here. Darian, thank you, my friend. I'm glad you could have the sweaty ice. Taylor, thank you for the super chat. I have been to Greece a number of times. It's not really expensive. Here's one of the things. I know people that have, like, Santorini can be pricey just because so many tourists go there and they like overspend. But I mean, I've talked to tourists and they'll tell me what they spent on their meal. And I'm like, I spent that on a week for food in Greece. Greece can be very affordable. I mean, very affordable. I would recommend doing apartment stays and you'll be just fine. But yeah, no, Greece, when I look at cheaper, like the only thing that's expensive about Greece, getting to Greece, that's the expensive thing, Taylor. If you're coming from the US, flying there, it's like adds an extra $500. Like, oh, you're going to Greece? Oh, $500 more. What I would recommend, flying to Italy, spend a couple days in Italy, and then do like an easy jet for like 50 euros to Athens or Crete or whatever, and then fly out of another place in mainland Europe, and then you take another like 50 euro flight to that part so you can see some other countries and do that. That's what I would recommend. So, Blaugrana, Mark from Valencia. Valencia, that's a cool city as well. If you're looking for a cool city to go to, because they've got culture, great art Deco architecture. The market there is fun to go to. They got beaches. It's a beautiful city. Yes, I speak all of those. So I speak Spanish. I can speak very well. German, I can speak very well. Italian, I would say I can have like a 8th grade conversation. French, I can have like a 3rd grade conversation. But I can be a good tourist in all the languages, so it's always a good time. Anyway, no, Rachel, you don't need to be concerned about crime in London, not any more than you would anywhere else, so you'll be fine to go. Okay, I'm going to head off because I got to get Liam to bed because tomorrow's a school day. But we'll be back with more lives over the next few months just to help everybody get ready for summer travel. So I will see you later. Adam Ferguson, my next trip is to the Dominican Republic. So that's where my next trip is going to. Wait, yes? Yes. The Dominican Republic is the next trip I'm going on. So have a great time, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic week ahead. Bye.